And welcome into Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. We sit down and record this episode, Razor, post-game after the Boston Bruins skate to a 4-3 victory in overtime over the Calgary Flames. Brad Marchand, the captain, coming through yet again for an overtime winner. And the Boston Bruins, who had a 3-1 lead in the third period, managed to get 2 points out of this game. And for the most part, they did some decent things here and there. We'll talk about that in a minute. But before we get to that and break down this game, we want to tell you about Fazenda Coffee, because Fazenda Coffee, our lead sponsor, is the place that you want to go if you want to check out the Morning Brew blend, if you want to check out Morning Brew hats or the Morning Brew clean canteen. They're all there. FazendaCoffee.com/Morning Brew is where you can go for that. You can also just go to FazendaCoffee.com and check out all of the different blends and roasts that they've got, because they've got them all there, Razor, from light to extra dark. They've got what you need. Whole bean, hey, they'll grind it for you too. Fazenda is Boston's specialty coffee roaster. FazendaCoffee.com, Fazenda, FazendaCoffee.com. Go check them out. We thank them for being our lead sponsor in the podcast. All right, Razor. Kind of a game against the Calgary Flames that I thought there's some decent elements to it. I obviously didn't love the third period, giving up the 2-goal lead, but there was some good stuff in the sense I thought some of the details got better. I thought that the guys, including their passing, got a little bit better. There was still some hiccups here and there, but I don't know if it was one of those. I don't know if I'd call it a Picasso, Bud, but I would call it an effective victory. And thankfully, thank the hockey gods, Bud, they ended up winning this one in the end.
Yeah, they deserve that. And by the way, there's new Morning Brew hats up on the 5th floor. A couple people. I was running and I didn't from way down, like, Razor, look at my hat. It was a new one. So to that guy, I apologize. I was already late for the period to get started, but I had to go. And so thank you. So we did connect, and I told him that Billy is very grateful for that hat. So yes, so
it's become quite the thing, the hat sales that we've got going.
It makes me giggle every time. So and I've certainly turned it your direction. So I know he's listening. So you know who you are. I get it, right? Like, it's not a Picasso, but I thought it was good. Like, I thought it was better than this is what it was. And I guess doing a long post game, I kind of got to it where I thought that was their best game if you broke up every individual. They probably had better like team games, but like to see Zaka go that way, to see David do his thing, Charlie Coyle. I thought the fourth, like Kepke and Kastelic, continued to do their thing. So if you took like
Korpisalo did his thing,
Korpisalo, McAvoy, Lindholm,
they all had moments. Yes,
they all had their like they all left the game feeling like they had a good game. I think that was that leaving the rink, there was the most amount of people that felt good about their game for the Boston Bruins tonight. That's what my takeaway is from tonight.
Yeah, because they all, there were stretches. There were stretches in that game that started to look again more like what we hoped, what we thought we should see. I agree. I mean, we're going to get right into David Pastrnak. I thought that he had more jump. I thought, I thought he had more command out there, more presence out there. Nice assist to Pavel Zacha for the one-timer from him. David ended up the game with 2 assists. He had 4 shots, 4 more attempts. Had 3 giveaways, but okay, again, was whatever. The one thing that I would actually say, if I'm going to critique Razor, is that he looked to force the pass to Tyler Johnson to try and get him, in that. I don't remember the time
exactly
of the game.
What I don't know. Obviously, you didn't watch postgame. You were coming. I said the exact same thing. That was the only critique of the night. Like, dude,
Yeah.
rip that thing home. Like, finish the game.
A
Come on.
confident, I
Like,
know what
finish.
I'm doing pasta, meaning I still think he's thinking out there, bud. I do. I think he's looking around a little more, almost a millisecond hesitation, whatever. David from last year does a little fake with the shoulder and then rips that thing off the toe. And Dustin Wolf can't find it.
No, he would have had no chance.
No chance. And I understand. I mean, he's a hell of a passer, but not there. Not at that time. Again, I think it just comes down to I'm just thinking more than I'm just rifling the puck. But otherwise, I thought his game was very effective. He played 23-32, so he got some good ice time in this game. I like having him with Zacha, and I understand that that's what, David and he have some chemistry, but Montgomery's been trying so many different things. He goes back with them. And then I actually liked, what do you think of Tyler Johnson's game? He played 15-45. I mean, he was darting around out there. I liked it again. I mean, he's got the pushing pace. I don't know if you call him a speed. He's quick, and he brings a hunger out there. And I like that. And I think that kind of line needs that.
He's going to be. We're going to compare him to Dan Heinen a lot. He's better than Dan Heinen. Like he's the same scenario, but he's a better player. Certainly more offensive. Maybe not the same defensive. He's not going to kill penalties, I don't think, but he might be what this team needs. He's won 2 cups. He's going to have the faith of the coaching staff. And yeah, he kind of settled everybody.
Yeah, that's
right.
good. That's a good term. Yeah,
he settled everybody in the top 9, I would say, and then you just the 4 doing their 4. That's what it felt like. The Toronto game was tough. It was really hard for him to get in the mix. We talked about that in the last brew. This one was more of a 5-on-5 game, and I think you saw what he can bring to the table. I won't be surprised to see him on the power play 1 sooner than later, too.
Probably. Yeah, I would agree. They're going to have to figure that out a bit. I mentioned the nice pass from David to Zacha. There was also a really nice pass to Hampus Lindholm, right? And then Hampus with a really good read coming in. I heard a little bit of your first intermission analysis about the way that he was. I mean, the speed was with which he came in, and then he just didn't get rid of it was so key because he makes Wolf then have to figure out where he's going to go with it. Yeah. And by the time that Wolf, I guess makes a decision, committed. He overcommitted, right?
Yeah. He made a decision and it was the wrong one.
Yeah. Hampus comes in from the point, comes down, he waits just enough, and then he goes to the back end and puts it into the net, pretty open net. That was the first goal. But David, again, with a real good read coming on the right side. So a good start. I didn't like as well we haven't done this much, meaning going through the game. I think it's probably worth it in this one since we just did a morning brew with Jaffe and Razor after Toronto. And now we do the Calgary game. I didn't like the 19 seconds after, the Calgary goal after they score a goal. And again, I caught a little bit of your analysis. So let's take you through this because I want you to break it down for me. The whole, how did this one get in on Korpisalo? So it ends up being Barrie that gets the puck. Lomborg and Kirkland are the ones that get the assist out there. It's a face-off won by Calgary. It goes back to the point, and it's a slapper from middle ice, basically. So how did you see it from your end? And was Korpisalo at fault on this one at all? Like what could he have done, or what did he do and what could he have done? Maybe I'll phrase it that way.
Yeah, and Korpisalo was at fault. He admitted as much afterwards and said it was on him. And the reason why it was his fault, it's not right. Like that, it's every NHL goal is the goalies can be at fault, but there's a reason for why that fault is. And Kastelik's going out to the point. He's the winger. He goes out to the point. Barry's shooting it. He's a right-handed shot. He's a right-handed shot, so he's in the middle of the ice. So he's a right-handed shot, which means it's tough. Korpisalo is looking left. Okay, he's looking to the middle of the ice. So hopefully everyone's with me still. Kastelik's kind of coming up the point. It's a right-handed shot. Okay, a right-handed shot really shouldn't be able to shoot to the right if my winger is coming out in the lane. That's the mentality. The puck's in the middle of the ice. My guy's coming to the middle of the ice. I have to look to the middle of the ice as a goaltender. So he's looking left. Kastelik's going left. The puck's on the left from their point of view because Barry's a righty. Kastelik continues over to the left side to a point where Korpisalo blocks himself out, essentially. Korpisalo screened himself, basically. As Kastelik's going out, as you lose track of the puck, your job as a goaltender is to move to the right. Korpisalo didn't move to the right. He stayed on the left. Barry recognized that he had a lane to the right side of Kastelik, and that's why that puck goes in blocker side on Korpisalo. If Korpisalo moves to his right a split second earlier, then he's tracking the puck, then his body's to the right, then he makes the easiest blocker save that all of us could make. So it's just he just got stuck. Korpisalo got stuck. He didn't recognize in the periphery where Kastelik was going, and it's on him to give up a 60-footer like that.
Yeah. Now, I mean, Barry can shoot. That's been his his thing, and he's put up numbers that, albeit this is just his first goal of the season, but in his career he has. But still, as you said, a 60 plus foot shot from there. Most of the time, you want that one stop, but it was not stopped, and it was again,
so just like to just put a bow on it, like if it's one guy screening a 60-footer, an NHL goalie's got to figure out how to find it. Yeah. Now, if there's 5 guys, then we would be talking about a completely different story where it just sometimes those go in. But when it's one guy and it's your guy, and it doesn't really actually matter if it's your guy or their guy. If it's just one person, that's on you. That's why you're one of the 60 best goalies in the world.
He literally just committed too much to his left with regard to his vision, his body, and that's the difference. You know, we're talking 6 inches probably.
Correct.
I mean, literally. That's the difference right there. He couldn't get back. So the Lindholm goal, by the way, is at 2:04 of the first. 2:23 is when Tyson Barrie scores his goal. The period ends 1-1. Shots were even 10-10. You would say, okay, yeah, pretty even period. I mean, but the Bruins, again, some good stuff, good battle, up and down a little here or there. But then the second period comes out and the Bruins really get going. And I thought they started moving well. Pavel Zacha gets his second goal of the season, his first since the first game of the year. And he has been at times snake bit, at times you could tell frustrated, at times overthinking, missing the net. This one he didn't. What I love about this play with Pastrnak getting it up on the right side, Pasternak's got to pretty much bat it to him. And then from the right side, now in your mind's eye again, folks, Zacha's a lefty. So this isn't what you would call a natural one-time thing, but his stick is in a good spot. He doesn't even try to handle the puck. He just gets it down and then in one fluid motion, snaps it from the mid-right slot area with a quick release. I mean, it's almost going against his body a little bit there, but yet he had already just opened up enough and he was able to load and he used the stick technology to its finest right there. And he snapped it by the blocker side of Wolf. He had no chance, Razor, on that one. It was a really beautiful release.
No chance. And it was so heady, like just Pavel Zacha in a nutshell, and what his ceiling is. There's not a lot of guys that would make that play and hit it as hard as he did, and with that kind of skill and allow it to go past his body. Most guys would get excited, knock it down, pull
Stick
it to the
handle,
back
probably
end,
exactly.
And they get closed out, and instead he let the puck do the work right on a tee, and he smashed it home. And a goalie has no way to read the shot when it's bouncing and moving. Like that's if he hits the net, which that's it. The propensity to miss the net sometimes for Pavel Zacha. If he hits the net, he scores. And he had 3 shots on goal tonight. I thought he looked a little different. I thought he had more pep. I thought he was happy to be with David. And recognize that, you know what? I'm not taking this for granted that I'm just playing with David this year. I've got to perform and I've got to get it done and get results. And he did that.
Big smile on his face after that goal, and understandably so. A big smile on a lot of people's face, and probably some relief internally as well. So that was at 8:25 the second. Then at the 8:56 mark, just seconds later, Charlie Coyle got the puck coming down the right side, and I had to do a double take, and his first assist of the season. He gets it down, he scoots down the right side hard, and then Cole Koepke drives far post with his stick on the ice, and Coyle hits him for Koepke, his 4th goal of the season. Just driving on that far post, gives himself as much time, much lane, best angle. I mean, again, you don't want to go near post because you take away any kind of room you have. He goes far post, gets it. Coyle with the nice bullet pass, puts it in, and then the Bruins have a 3-1 lead. So we head into the third period with the Bruins up 3-1. And then penalties. And then the captain takes a penalty. And post game, I had a chance to talk with Brad, and we did an interview for Nesson, and he admitted it was a bad penalty. It was really bad. And I asked him about it, Razor. Were you frustrated because you had been hitting posts and where the game had gone and all that? So he said, no, I mean, we're up 3-1. He says, I didn't read the play right. It was bad. It was just not good. I mean, face washed. Who was it? I'm blanking now on
Prospel.
Oh, Prospel.
Yeah.
That who can get on. By the way, he's a shit disturber. That guy, at his best.
Yeah.
And Brad kind of bid on it, and I didn't think it was really the most egregious.
No, it wasn't.
I didn't think it was that. I almost thought, wait a second, if you're going to call a penalty, you call both here, but really there's nothing to call here. And then I saw the replay, and I'm like, come on, really?
Yeah, I thought it was. Again, let's not let him off the hook. He didn't let himself off the hook.
Right.
And the Bruins have had a penalty issue, so that's what we're talking about. And that's kind of a hockey karma thing, what happened tonight. But that wasn't like
it wasn't the most egregious penalty whatsoever.
I think that one gets flagged for the referees. Like, hey guys, we've got enough penalties being called right now. You don't.
And we're early in the third period. Okay, what are we doing here? But all right, anyways, listen. The ref made the call. Brad was fully, admitting that not a good thing.
And they're not killing those ones.
Exactly. Well, that's the hockey gods coming back to kick you, right?
Yeah.
Sharon Govich scores a goal a couple of seconds after Marchand takes the penalty, the roughing call, 9 seconds into the third. Sharon Govich scores a goal at the 58-second mark. He has tipped the puck that Weegar had brought in from the right side, and it was a nice tip. I mean, there's a little traffic, whatever. It was a typical goal like they saw against Toronto. So that made it 3-2. Halfway through the period, Charlie Coyle's going to end up blowing a tire, going through the neutral zone, actually coming over the blue line, basically. I asked him if he hit a rut, if he went. He says, I don't know. My leg just went out. Ice is soft, probably hit a rut. Maybe the edge of his skate blade had something happen to it. He goes down. The Bruins with a fourth guy joining the play, which is, as Charlie Coyle said, this is what we do. We want a fourth guy up there. It was McAvoy was up there, but it goes back the other way on a 2.5-on-1, basically. And Nazem Kadri, Bruins nemesis Nazem Kadri, puts in a nice far side goal shot on the 2-on-1. Lindholm was the defenseman for his 5th goal of the season and made it 3-3. And I don't know about you, but I'm sitting there saying, all right, are you freaking kidding me? This is where we're at right now with this team.
Yes. I guess if I put my media hat on, I was thinking, this is going to be annoying to have to explain. Because I thought they had a good game. I thought there was enough individuals. I thought they'd done enough to win the game. And so I guess I kind of went like, oh man, we're gonna have to explain why this didn't work out, and which isn't a good way to really, I shouldn't think that way, but I do sometimes. Right? It's not fair. It's not, but it's what we do. I mean, that's our job. So yeah, it was just, it felt like it was coming a little bit. It felt like they were just a little unsure, and their third period's been bad. Flat out, they've had the worst third period in the National Hockey League, and they made it. But they're now officially in last place in goal differential in the third period because they had -2, and Montreal only had -1 tonight. So you don't want to be with Montreal in any. It's like the San Jose Sharks and the Montreal Canadiens. So and silver linings down the line when we talk about things, but no, it wasn't a good feeling. It wasn't. It was, and there was 10 minutes left. You're like, oh, how are they going to hang on?
And we know that this team has suffered from a confidence issue. And Brad and I talked about it this morning. Brad Marchand and I talked about it. He talked about it post-game interview as well. I asked him. And I've said this before on this show and other stuff. A lot of times people kind of take for granted that these guys, meaning NHL players like yourself and Guns currently, that they're always going to be confident, that there's always going to be no issue, that it's always going to be fine. And, that's not the case. And this team seems to be battling a confidence issue. It just does, in the sense of like I don't think they know their identity yet. I just don't. And I think you need an identity, Razor, to be confident. And they haven't seen enough consistency in their game, I think, to be confident. So that's the feeling that I get, because I'm like, all right, wait a second. There's been a lot of good, but oh man, if they don't have this confidence, we've seen them unravel. Third period goals, third period penalties. We've seen one little thing take it to some bad places. Thankfully, they were able to get through into the overtime, though. That was it. So then, I can't tell you I felt good or bad, but at least I felt like, okay, they figured out a way after giving up a 2-goal lead to settle things down here in the third.
Yeah, and they did do a good job of that, because there was 10 minutes left, and
Right.
They did a good job settling in, and then overtime's overtime. I'm glad they scored. The best players were their best players tonight, and they showed that at the end in overtime. We'll get to it, but yeah, you're rolling the dice, certainly.
No question. Before we get to the overtime goal, let's quickly talk about our sponsors for this show, and we'll start with Graciano Construction. Serving Boston and the greater Metro West area, Graciano Construction is the contractor. They will help you refresh and revitalize your space. They do it with pride and amazing professionalism. GracianoConstruction.com, or call 508-330-7589 to discuss what you're looking for. You want to reach out to Doug Graciano, because this is a guy, not only is he creative with what he does, but he does it with such class and such customer service. You want to go with him, and just call him for ideas. He'll come, he'll give you estimates, he'll talk about your project, etc. GracianoConstruction.com. You want to talk about Sparks? You want to get in? You want to talk Sparks? Are you good for it?
I am ready to talk Sparks.
All right.
I could talk Sparks all the time. I think everyone knows that. It's literally my favorite thing. And
I just got a new wheel, and I'm excited. I love getting a new wheel because it's clean now. I use a lot, and I'm ready to use it.
Do you ever change the like? I've gone I'll go like 7/16 just to like grab one, just to see if it's a little bit different, see if the kids recognize it.
A little bit. I will. I've gone to 3/4 now for Jake and me.
Yes, you're really digging in. Yeah, the kid, like the sharper the better too. But that's the beauty of this thing. That's why sparkshockey.com is the best, because you go and you get a wheel, and you get it within a couple of days, and it comes home and you put it on there, and it's literally the easiest thing in the entire world to do. In the entire hockey world, the Sparks hockey machine is the absolute best. The convenience of it, the ease of it, the fact that my kids do. I don't think about sharpening skates. That's the last thing I think of. And I need less things to think about on a daily basis. So sparkshockey.com comes through on that. Use the code BRU50, BRU50, for $50 off. Holidays are coming. This is the best holiday gift you could give anybody or any family that is dialed into skating and hockey. It's the best machine ever.
It is a great call, because it makes your life a lot easier, and you'll have fun doing it. It also is going to be great gifts if you have a dog, or somebody that has a dog. The gifts at Baydog Canine Adventure Gear. Baydog.com, Baydog, Baydog.com. 100% veteran-owned business. Super high quality, smart designs, but always very reasonably priced. They've got embroidered collars. They got the college collection of harnesses and fleeces for 33 schools. And they also make the best life jackets on planet Earth. So if you got a dog that likes swimming and you want to get him one of these, go to Baydog.com. This company also, They never undercut their retail partners, the mom and pop independent pet stores out there. They're really big throughout New England. That's why they're not on Amazon or Chewy. They don't take away the business from those. So you want to check them out, baydog.com, and you're going to love the quality. Your dog's going to love it. You're going to listen. When we always talk about, your kids are happy, everything's good, right? And everything. Yeah. Well, I don't know. For you and me, I think it's when Mila and Cooper are incredibly happy. That's when I think we're at their best. Cooper greeted me when I came home tonight. He looked at me. I told Coop I had to first of all I had to take the 12 bags of leaves to the front because my kids hadn't, so I had to do that. And then I saw Coop. Coop was there, and I gave him a big hug and played with him for a half a minute. And then I told him, "Get upstairs, go to night." He says. He looks at me, he turns around, he goes up there. He's probably waiting upstairs for me. So love the guy. So it's baydog.com. Make your pet happy and look for something there. All right. Speaking of being happy, Brad Marchand made the Bruins fans happy at TD Garden. Let's talk about the overtime goal. I mean, there were some chances, but let's get right to the goal that ends up happening at 4:40 mark of overtime. I really am happy if, as a Bruins analyst and just looking at, the body of work for Elias Lindholm, as great of a goal as it was for Brad to get, and because he had some posts and, he wanted to make up for the penalty that he took to start the third. Lindholm, being a former Calgary Flame, I thought he had a decent game. I liked, I felt like I noticed him more. I was around it more. And winning that heavy battle, get the puck. It was a second, third type battle, and he gets it to Brad. I hope, I'm not going to make too much out of it, but I hope it's significant for him. I hope it puts him into a good spot moving forward.
I do too. I think he deserves it. I think he certainly snuck up on Anderson. Anderson thought he had 2 more seconds and probably thought he could just go behind the net, and Lindholm decided to pounce. Did a great job getting underneath. Just that's what he is. That's what he is. And if he can start connecting a little bit more, if his confidence builds, like I think he walks out of there feeling as good as he has back to the individual people. Mm-hmm. Lindholm walks out of the rink as good as he's felt since game 3 or 4. Whatever that was when he was at Montreal that he hit the puck off Marshy's shot, through Montembeault. So that was Montreal.
Yeah,
it's a long time ago, 12 games ago. So I just think that builds his confidence because it was a great play. It was a heady play. Not a lot of guys in the NHL can pull that off, and I thought he was deliberate all night.
He played 18-13. He had the 1 assist in the game, 4 shots on goal, 2 hits, a takeaway and a block. He was a few face-off wins under 500. He hasn't been as effective in the face-off circle. I mean, he's still at 50. Well, he was at 52% coming in. He's going to be at 51% now. He has 44% in this game. Overall, by the way, the Bruins, 33 wins, 29 losses as a team in this game. A perfect 8 for 8 in this game from Pavel Zacha. Not bad. Pavel, a goal and assist in this game, 20-46 of ice time. The big guys played the big minutes. Let me just go through some of this ice time. Zacha, 20-48. Hampus Lindholm, who was good in this game. He was good. 5 shots on goal, 25-07. Really good. McAvoy, 27-54. He was out there with numerous partners regularly. The penalties weren't significant in this game, so it wasn't a special team moment for Charlie. It was a lot of heavy-duty minutes. He played 22-51 at even strength. Pastrnak, 23-32. Marchand played 19 minutes. Marchand ended up with a goal and 8 shots in this game, 4 more attempts. So these are big guys. Your big guys playing big minutes and having the numbers. And I think, Jim Montgomery saw these guys and doing good things. And so whether it was a reward or just like, you're just going, this is what I got to do. This is what you need right now. I like that. He put them out there and to help them, give them best opportunity to flourish.
Yeah. And I think it's, all right. I've moved the line as a coach. I've moved the lines around a lot. I've tinkered with things. I've tried to, but you know what? All right. And not like it's on you guys. Go. I'm just going to keep playing my best players. I'm just going to let you guys be the best players, and I'm going to let you guys go and win the game. That's kind of the message I got when looking at time on ice after the game. And I think they responded for the most part. Again, I think the guys that we've talked about a lot have did a good job tonight and ended up again pulling that win out that makes them feel good.
All right, let's quickly talk about the next game coming up
Yeah.
because there's a matchup that's going to happen that's going to be quite interesting. The Boston Bruins play on Saturday at home to wrap up this mini homestand against the Ottawa Senators. Linus Ullmark led Ottawa Senators. Although Linus did not play on Thursday night, the Ottawa Senators played Anton Forsberg. They lost to the New York Islanders at home, which is rare because coming into this game, Ottawa 5-1-0, 5-1-0 at home, 1-5-0 on the road. They obviously, but they put Forsberg in to then, I guess save Ullmark for Saturday night. Linus hasn't been playing that well lately. I believe he's 1-4 in his last 5 decisions. If I'm wrong by one, forget. I know it's 1 win at most, maybe 1-3, 1-4. Regardless,
he's 2-4 overall. I think he's 0-4 in the last 4, 1-4 in the last 5. So yes,
okay,
you got it right.
So we know hockey isn't mano a mano, goalie against goalie, but so much attention is going to be made here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? I mean, the buildup has got to be the buildup, right?
Yeah.
But you can't get caught up in that whether you're Swayman or Ullmark. But with all the focus like that, how do you not get caught up in it a little bit?
Yeah, you're going to get caught up a little. The advantage goes to Jeremy because he's not facing old teammates.
Mm-hmm.
It's always hard. There was coaches, a lot of coaches when I played and Jarl a lot. Like there's been history of not playing against teams that you used to play for. Just because of the added, like as a player, I think you get juiced up for it and it's easy. You can go out and hit a guy, you can get in on the forecheck. The guy you don't know, you get it in his face. You have that excitement. Whereas a goaltender, you get a little bit too up for it, and you can a little bit overthink it. This guy always went low blocker in practice. I'm going to get him, and he goes high glove. Just those little things that you can overthink, and sometimes it works where, all right, this guy's going to just be nails, and he's going to go make his Patrick Waugh, right? Like he's going to go. He's going to win no matter what against his old teammate. He's going to shove it right down their throats.
Mindset, baby.
Mindset.
Yep.
So it does. There's a lot of different ideas about it. I'm very, very curious how it is. But sitting here on a Thursday night, I'm thinking that Swayman has a big advantage over Linus having to come back into here, being traded, and just the way the whole thing kind of feels. It feels like Jeremy's up for a big night.
You think they go to dinner tomorrow night? Or, I mean, I have no idea. I haven't talked to anybody about it. I haven't asked anything. What do you think? That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I think they do. I think they will. I think, and that's, again, I think that kind of leans into like advantage Jeremy, right? Like Linus will be like the nice guy and go to like, if Patrick's not, I just keep going back. I'll go to Patrick. It's easy. I could go to a bunch of different goalies, but Patrick's not having dinner with anybody tomorrow night, right? Like he would never have had dinner with his former teammates. Marty Brodeur wouldn't have had dinner with, like, this is big, and I think Linus will have dinner. I think they will hang out, and
I'm curious to see.
Yeah, so it's all part of the story. But
Swayman has to pay though, right? Because he got 8 years. Linus
he
got
does.
4.
Yeah, and Linus is paying a lot more taxes. So yes, Jeremy has to pay. Jeremy has to pay dinner literally for the next like 15 years of his life. So he's always paying dinner. Yes.
Listen, the Ottawa Senators are a team that are still trying to get themselves, to a higher level. They hired a new coach. They're the Ottawa Senators still, right? But they can score. I can tell you that.
Oh, mama.
They can score. Tim Stützle, Brady Tkachuk, Drake Batherson, Claude Giroux can still bring it too. So they've got some guys. By the way, Adam Gaudette, if that name sounds familiar, folks, that's because Adam Gaudette played for Northeastern some years ago, had a really great college career. there is 6 goals on the season. So they can score. They will give up, though, a lot of goals too. And again, they have not played well on the road. It'll be interesting to see if how they bring it and what they bring. And they will bring. And Brady Tkachuk loves playing in Boston, et cetera. But this game's obviously, the whole big question is, what about the goalie hug? They ain't coming close to that. They may do that.
Oh my God.
Maybe it did.
Please,
I know.
Please.
I
know, but it's a thing. It's like, yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna let that go. I just no way.
No way. My facetious, my sarcasm, maybe if it didn't come through, folks.
No, it did, but it was brought up on Postgame as well. Like, it's going to be brought up a lot in the next few days.
It is. It'll definitely be the storyline. All right, Razor and I will not be doing a show after the Ottawa game because Razor is going to be in Toronto, headed to the Hall of Fame game. He's going to put on the goalie gear. I don't know the last time you put it on, really put it on to play. You're going to play in the Hockey Hall of Fame alumni game on Sunday afternoon. I'm actually heading up to Toronto as well for the induction ceremony. I'll be heading up Sunday morning. So Razor and I will see each other up there, but we're not going to be doing a show on Saturday night or Sunday. We will come do a show after Tuesday's game when the Bruins are
on Wednesday, because we're
going to do it on Wednesday because you're traveling. Right. So Tuesday night, the Bruins play St. Louis. We will do a show Wednesday. By the way, folks, there's a decent to very positive chance that an interview with Brad Park from the Hockey Hub podcast, another show on Nesson, might be promoted through our feed on Saturday or Sunday. Give it a listen. Brad Park, phenomenal guy, great stories, great Bruin. But check that out. That will come out. We'll put something out on social when it is, but don't be surprised if you see that on Saturday or Sunday. Again, Razor and I's next show will be Wednesday after the St. Louis game because Razor's got to travel with the Bruins to St. Louis and then to Dallas. All right, that's going to wrap up this show. The Boston Bruins win. They beat the Calgary Flames in overtime 4-3. The captain, Brad Marchand, coming through. The Bruins get set to take on the Ottawa Senators in, we'll call it the goalie hug game on Saturday night. Everybody enjoy the victory. Enjoy your coffee.